Hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Star Wars Positivity with me, your gold leader, Tiffany. So it's been a minute since the last video, and of course, I am here today to talk about yesterday, which just happened to be one of the absolute best days of my entire life. And we're going to get right into it. No beating around the bush. If you follow me on Twitter at Star Wars Tiffany, you already know, because of course I tweeted about it, and on Instagram at Gold Leader Tiffany. Yesterday in San Antonio at the Celebrity Fan Fest, I had my dream come true to meet Ewan McGregor. It came to be as a complete just surprise and amazing gift from one of my greatest friends, Floyd Johnson, who I absolutely have to shout out. Floyd, thank you again from the bottom of my heart for giving me like literally the best day of my life and making a dream come true, which come true. Just, I could never ever thank you enough. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I've said it a zillion times and given you hugs and everything, but I will continue to thank you because that was, like I said, literally one of the best days of my whole life. So I want to talk about yesterday, about meeting Ewan. Found out back in, I believe it was June, is when Floyd told me that he was getting me a photo op and an autograph, and that, you know, I would be meeting Ewan McGregor, which is something that I want to say that it's been a dream, because it is, and it's a dream come true that it happened, but it's also something that felt so unattainable that I don't know if I ever actually like mindfully made it a dream. Because when you dream of something, you think, well, one day I'm going to make this happen, one day. And not to say that I wouldn't have done anything to make it happen, but I mean, obviously with Ewan, he's only now just come back to Star Wars. And so it kind of all, you know, once he was announced for Celebration, I was just gutted that I couldn't be there. I was, you know, I had planned to go to a Celebration a few years ago, and it fell through, and then COVID happened, and I mean, it just wasn't in the cards to go to Anaheim. So I had told myself, okay, so you can't go to Anaheim, it's fine. I'm just going to start saving, and I'm going to go to Celebration next year. And they announced that it's in London, which is awesome. I'm super happy for everyone who gets to go overseas. That's a wonderful thing. But personally, I was like, well, definitely not going to be next year to meet Ewan. So it was just one of those things where it was like something I, you know, truly before recently didn't even think it was something that could happen. And then he was announced for Celebration, and it was like, oh my gosh, so maybe next year, and then London. And so then he was announced for the show in San Antonio, and my friend Floyd, being the amazing friend that he is, was just like, okay, we're going to make this happen. You're going to meet Ewan. And that was just like, what? You know, I'm going to meet Ewan. I can't believe it. And tickets go on sale. Floyd gets my tickets, and that's it. It's set. I'm going to meet Ewan McGregor. So counting down, you know, constantly tweeting about X amount of days until I meet Ewan, and just the excitement building. And even though I have tickets and I know what's happening, you know, until you're actually there and you know he's there and everything is going to happen and nothing's been canceled or postponed, you just don't want to like count your chickens before they hatch. So we get there, and once I got there and saw his, you know, sign up, and that kind of made it feel more real. But even then it was kind of like, you know, until I actually see him, I'm going to be just like on edge, because he's so close and so far from having something so special happen. And, you know, Ewan McGregor has been a favorite actor of mine for so long, even beyond Star Wars. You know, Trainspotting, Moulin Rouge is one of my top 5 all-time favorite films. And then, you know, Big Fish, and I could just go on and on. He is such an exceptional actor. He's wonderful. And then, of course, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he is, and that's like my favorite Jedi, one of my absolute favorite characters. So, I mean, he just means a lot to me. So the idea of getting to meet him was just on its own so special. And then I factor in, you know, my mom, who introduced me to Star Wars. And so my mom is, she's passed away, and she was my absolute best friend, and we bonded over so many things, and Star Wars was one of the biggest things. She's the one that showed me the films for the first time, and her and I loved all the Star Wars films. She passed away in 2007, so unfortunately she's not able to see any of the new stuff, which just breaks my heart, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, like anything that, you know, the original trilogy and the prequels are what we had. So when I was introduced to Star Wars through her, I fell in love, and it became our thing. We went and bought lightsabers, we bought toys, we would go out to the country and by these lakes and have little lightsaber duels. I mean, just everything. But above all else, we love the prequels. I love everything Star Wars. That goes without saying. Everybody knows that. But the prequels just have such a special place in my heart. I love them. And, you know, for me, I wasn't even born when the original trilogy came out. So the prequels were what, like my mom, that's actually what she introduced me with. So it's, you know, it's just, they mean a lot, and they were something that her and I bonded over and loved, and we love Obi-Wan Kenobi and, you know, Anakin Skywalker, Ewan McGregor, and Hayden Christensen. We just absolutely love them. So, you know, not only was this special because it was just, you know, my favorite, probably my favorite actor, actually. I would say Ewan McGregor is my absolute favorite actor in and out of Star Wars. So we have that, the fact that he's my favorite actor, the fact that he is my favorite, plays Obi-Wan Kenobi, my favorite Jedi, and it's Star Wars, which is my whole life, as we know. So many things building up, and then the connection with my mom, which was just like, you know, it just being able to know I was going to get to meet him, if nothing else, even if I didn't get to say a word, just meet him. And all I could think of is if my mom was alive, if she wasn't right beside me, meeting him with me. Because on other trips I've gone to for like pro wrestling, if you don't know, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. I went to a lot of events, meet a lot of wrestlers. And when my mom was still with us, I would always text her and update her, call her at the time, like way back before we had like smartphones. You know, I would call her from the hotel room to update her on who I met and all that. So I can only imagine if she wasn't right beside me yesterday, meeting you and with me, that, you know, of course she would have been the first phone call, the first text, sending all the pictures and gushing and just having a wonderful conversation about it. So there was a lot of emotion going into yesterday. And when it actually came to be, I'll probably throw up some photos. I took some photos when I was in line, because my photo op was first, and then my autograph was a few hours later, which actually ended up working out perfectly, which I will talk about. But I'm in line, and I am just, you know, starting to feel the anticipation, the emotion really build. And I literally like started crying while I was in line. So no shame. I'm not embarrassed. It's who I am. I'm super passionate about the things I love, and Star Wars is number one. And like I said, Ewan just means so much to me. So I am waiting for my photo op, and you know, the lines are each getting called in, and then it gets time for my line. And I will say, this is why am I wearing a badge? Well, it's my VIP badge that we got, like a collector badge, and it has amazing artwork of Ewan on there as Obi-Wan. So I wanted to wear that for the video, and I would have worn my Obi-Wan Kenobi shirt, but I wore it yesterday to meet him, so it is in the dirty clothes. And I wore it in my last video, so I didn't want to repeat. So we get C-3PO and R2 instead, who I figure works. So everybody loves the droids. But anyway, badge, collector badge. You can see, you got to pick your own. And of course, I was like, give me the Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, so that I will keep forever. I love keepsakes. But anyway, I'm in line, and I have, you know, I'm in the VIP line for group 2. No, yes, group 2. And so group 1 gets through, and then I'm like, this is getting real. I look beside me, and there's, you know, a very small amount, maybe 10 people left, and I know my line is next. So I am, you know, just absolutely trying not to, you know, completely lose it, but I had already started crying, despite that I hadn't even seen Ewan yet. But I knew he was there. Like, I finally felt like, okay, this is happening, because you see a whole other group of people, hundreds of people going in and getting their photo ops, and you see the flash going off behind the curtain, and you know what that means. So you know that this is happening, and I'm like getting worked up just talking about it now. So my group goes, and photo ops, if you've been to cons, they're short. They as many as they can get, one after another. Go in, pose, take your photo, leave. And you know that going into it, so no disappointment. That's all I expected, was to get a photo. And then typically, if you're able to get an autograph, those you can get a little more time in those, which we'll talk about. But so I didn't know, what to expect for the photo op, if it was just literally going to be walk in, whatever we do for the picture and then walk out, or what. But it ended up being super special despite being short. And I walk in and I immediately am like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. Like, I can't believe Ewan McGregor is standing in front of me, and I am just overcome with emotion. And he's like, I'm going to cry. And he was just like, oh, come here. And he gives me this hug. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just got hugged by Ewan McGregor. What is my life? And so he hugs me, and I kind of like, as we're hugging, kind of go to beside him for the photo. And it was such a whirlwind. I honestly wasn't entirely sure what our pose looked like or anything. And so we ended up getting this absolutely perfect photo together, which I will bring up now so you can see it. It'll probably be on the full screen so you can see the photo. It's everything. I can't even explain. Talking about like the most genuine, kind, warm human like I've ever met. And even though photo ops are short, it didn't feel short. He made it so special. When he saw how emotional I was, he, embraced me and held me so tight. And then in the photo, he's just got his, cheek against my head, and he's holding my arm. And it was kind of like I said, some people go into photo op to know exactly the pose they want. I had no idea. I was just like, I can't even like grasp that I'm going to have Ewan McGregor in front of me. So and actually like stand beside him. I wouldn't have asked for a hug, because I didn't want to, especially with COVID, I didn't know what he felt comfortable with. So I was just going with whatever vibe he put out. Of course, walking in there, practically ready to sob against the man. He was so wonderful, and just like I said, just pulls me in and hugs me, and it was so special. And I can't even believe now, even having a photo to look at, that it happened. So it was just such a wonderful little moment. And so of course, the minute you get your photo, you're out, you walk down, you get your picture, and then you're done. So I got my photo and I saw it, and I'm just like, what? Like, this is the perfect photo. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so happy with it. Just looking at it and like, it's almost like, because it was such a quick moment, despite him making it so special. But like the pose that we ended up having was just so reflective of the hug he gave me like 2 seconds before, that I just will forever remember that. And that's just, that means so much to me. So I got my my photo, and then I knew I had my autograph around 3:15. So my photo was around 1 o'clock. So I had a couple hours to kill before it was time for the autograph. That's when I wanted to tell him. I knew I would have a little extra time, because the photo ops are more rushed than the autographs. Typically, as they're signing, you can talk to them. It's a little more personable. And I was really grateful that I had both opportunity for the photo and the autograph. And I knew that I wanted to tell Ewan about my mom. And so I was waiting. Then, of course, once it was time to line up for my autograph, and I had tried to like decide before, of course, I left for the trip, because I flew down to flew from Kansas City to Texas for this. And I was like, do I want to get either of these signed? This is what I originally was like. I'm going to get either my, 50th anniversary, 50 Lucasfilm 50, the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, or am I going to get the pop sign? It's the Smuggler's Bounty exclusive. So I asked Twitter. I was kind of leaning towards the pop, but the pop went out. Everyone said, get the pop sign. That's the best thing to get signed. Even though I do think this is an absolutely sharp, like super sharp figure, but I think the pops do look cooler signed. So this is what I had thought I was going to get signed. Brought it had it with me the whole time. And I kind of forgot that at Comic-Cons you get the photo like immediately, the printout, and then the digital you can get within like 15 minutes or something. So I kind of forgot about that being an option. But the minute I got my photo, I was like, that's what I'm getting signed. I'm getting my photo signed. I don't care about value. Like, you know, my photo is priceless to me. And, you know, I know people would say, well, get the Funko signed because it's already worth something, and then it'll be signed and it'll be worth more. But that doesn't mean anything to me. What means to me is the moment that I got to have with Ewan, and then to get our photo of us together signed, that's what means something to me. So it was a no-brainer the minute I actually remembered and got my physical copy of our photo, right there after it happened, that was what I was getting signed. So brought the Funko for no reason, but that's fine. It's back home safely. Maybe I'll get it signed another time. We'll see. But so yes, the photo is what I decided to get signed. I will show that here in a moment, but I'll talk about what happened first. So my friends that I were with, both were as me and then my two friends, and Floyd, of course, was right behind me, who was responsible for the whole thing as far as, you know, getting me there and getting me the tickets. So I was so excited that he could be there for that, since the photo op he couldn't be. And he got to witness just such a special moment. And so I walk in, because they had Ewan, usually a lot of times at cons, the autographs are just at tables, but for certain guys who were, you know, the biggest ones, the biggest celebrities, they were behind a curtain. So you went in, their table was behind the curtain, which is kind of nice because it was a little more private. So we went in, and, you know, I had my photo of us, and I was like, hello again, I'm going to cry. Oh my gosh. You know, I can't believe I get to see you again. And he's, you know, says, you know, hello, Tiffany, and his accent, which just melted me into a puddle. And he was wonderful, and he had his glasses on, and he's just, I mean, just being truthful, he's even more beautiful in person, if you can believe that. And I think it's, not only is he just a beautiful man, but he's a beautiful person, and he is beautiful in every sense of the word. He is like an angel. Like, he's so kind and warm, and his, like, you know, embrace, you feel like just how genuine he is. So just, I can't even explain how wonderful the experience of getting to meet him was. So I walk up to him at the table, and I'm like, you know, like I said hello, and, you know, here's the photo, and oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to see you again. And I told him my heart was beating so fast, and he was just so sweet. And so he starts to sign my photo, and, you know, he asks, is black pen okay? And I'm like, anything you want, just you, whatever. I'm just so grateful to be here. And so I told him, you know, I was like, I wanted to tell you that it is such a dream come true to meet you, and that my mom is no longer here, and that her and I, you know, bonded over Star Wars. We love the prequels. The prequels mean so much to us, or meant so much to us, and still mean so much to me. And that if she was still alive, that she would be right here with me, and just so over the moon for me getting to meet you. And I, you know, am just a mess, and he is just the sweetest. He literally stands up, because he's sitting for the autograph, and he leans across the table and just hugs me again so tight, and he's like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And it was such a moment, and my friends are both like, oh my gosh, like, and then they said, I guess because I was just completely lost in my moment, I didn't know anything else existed around me in that moment. And the people I guess who were coming in behind us into the little room behind the curtain or whatever, I guess they were like, oh my God, and like thought it was a really good, sweet moment. And it was so special. So it, like, you know, meeting Ewan in itself, dream come true. The photo op, dream come true. But then getting to like have that moment with him during the autograph signing, and getting to tell him about how much the prequels meant to me and my mom, and how we bonded over them, and just for him to care so much. And he truly, like, you can tell he's not just putting on an act. He's such a genuine person, and just the way he just got up and reached over and just pulled me into his arms, and, you know, said, I'm so sorry for your loss, and just so genuine, and just, you know, how good it was to meet me, and just calling me by name and everything. It was such a dream come true. So here is the photo autographed with, which again, I am just over the moon. Not only did he personalize it, he even wrote a message, Dear Tiffany, all love, you know, Ewan, and then even a little heart. The little heart just got me. I mean, I just couldn't be more happy with this photo, with this experience. Dream come true. Just such a wonderful person. I am just eternally grateful for this moment, and just the fact that I got to meet Ewan McGregor and shares something so personal and so special and important to me, because like I said, my mom was my best friend, and you know, we shared so much, but Star Wars was at the very top of that list, and especially the prequels. We loved them. We would watch them endlessly, whether it was on DVD at the time or on when they would be on marathons. If it was on, Star Wars was on TV, forget about it. We were watching, and I to this day, I'm every weekend, I'm like, does TBS or TNT have a Star Wars marathon on? I gotta watch, even though I've got Disney Plus and I have the Skywalker Saga Blu-ray thing, the box set, and I have the DVDs, all of them. I mean, it doesn't matter. I have them in various forms of ability to watch that's not watching them with commercials, but there's just something special about it. And I think it might be that it reminds me of how excited my mom and I would get to watch them on TV. And if it was a Star Wars marathon, we were just on the couch watching it the whole day, and it was everything. So yeah, I wanted to talk about yesterday, which was the dream come true day. And so now we have, I've documented it, which is something I wanted to do, and I wanted to do it while it was still fully fresh in my mind and in my heart. And I was still on, I mean, I'm going to be on cloud 9 for a while, but you know what I mean? I'm still haven't been fully removed from it yet. And I just look at the photo and I just can't believe it's real. Like, I just can't believe it's real. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect. I truly, like, it was just, I'm kind of stumbled for words, and I always say I don't have words to express, and then I'll make a 20-minute video or I'll tweet 20 tweets and say all these words. But the reason I say I have no words, or I don't have enough words, or I can never put into words, is because I don't ever feel like it's enough, because it just was so beyond special. So I'm going to say this, even though it's really corny, and I know he will never see it, but Ewan McGregor, thank you for being so kind and making me feel so special, for making a day that I only thought was truly a dream, never something that could be a reality, but making my dream come true and make it so special that I can't even put into words, as here I go again saying it, but it's true. I could never fully express how much it meant to me to be able to meet you, and for you to be so kind and genuine and warm, and to hug me and to care and to take the time. Thank you. I will support you forever. I already would. I already have, and I always will. Thank you. And thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and I really hope that some people will watch and not just read my typed words, but actually my spoken words, which I think mean more about this experience, because it was truly everything. And I can never, ever, ever thank Ewan enough, and thank my friend Floyd for being the most amazing person to make something like this happen for me. Thank you. Ewan McGregor, you are wonderful, and I am so thankful for you. And everybody else, I will hopefully be back soon with another video. Until then, may the force be with you.